let's get to our list. Okay, so now we're on our number 2. For me, my second favorite is the 7th part 2. I just think it sums everything up that you could want. There were so many moments where I was cheering, where, you know, the whole theater literally sometimes did cheer and applaud, you know, and that's always a fun thing when you go to a movie like that. And I find it ages really well. Like, I saw it last October at a Halloween party, and I was like, I should really get back to the party, but I want to keep watching this movie because it's so good. And I just think I like the way that she gave every character, and this is true in the book as well, but I felt like the movie did a good job with it of giving every character their moment.
Yeah, you know? Even Neville, Luna, everyone.
Whether it was like Mrs. Weasley gets her awesome moment, and that was probably the biggest cheer of all.
For sure.
You know, when she's like,
I was cheering my head off.
You know, that was great, and because the moment, I think the reason maybe why because like I said, I like these moments where the characters are allowed to be flawed, and when Harry goes to the spirit world or whatever, and he meets Dumbledore, and he has that moment to kind of say to him, like, how could you let me down, sort of. Yeah. He doesn't say those words, but there's sort of that moment of, like, and I just think that scene is so lovely. And and it's just the way it was filmed and the way it just feels so peaceful. And you almost feel like, I wouldn't blame Harry for staying there, you know, because it's like there's all this chaos and horror, and then he goes to this place and he gets to talk to Dumbledore and kind of deal with all of his demons, and then it's only then that he's strong enough to go back. To really to kill. And I could do without the epilogue at the end. I think that's a little cheesy, and I don't think the makeup is done very well. But
no, they all just look like they put wigs on.
Yeah, I don't. So that part, but
especially Ron.
I don't think any of them are particularly good. And
in the book, it worked because it's a book.
Yeah.
But like the movie, I just think they should have. But also, it kind of provides a little bit of closure.
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit of closure, but I don't know. I don't need that closure. It's kind of like I hate it in movies when you get like the paragraphs at the end. It's like, tell your story. Like, if you haven't told your story and you need paragraphs to finish your story, then you haven't told a very good story. Like, I hate that. So it's sort of the same kind of thing. Like, it's okay. You don't have to tell the whole story. You can just tell your story. I think it's just
the fact that it is a children's book, and we forget that she wrote it for children, which seems kind of ridiculous. But she did write it for children, and children generally do need that kind of closure.
Yeah, but like that's like a nitpick.
It is a happy ending.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why it's an afterwards, is because some people choose not to read it.
Yeah, I mean, it's number 2 on my choice, so that's a nitpick. But I like I said, I love it, especially that scene with Dumbledore. I think that is beautiful.
Really good.
Very good. And I think Daniel Radcliffe is underrated in his acting, I think,
people are like, I don't really like him, and I think, you couldn't have done a better job.
I mean, he has a lot of depth of emotion, whereas like someone like a Ron character, it's pretty one note, I mean, he has his moments, but like it's more of a one note, I think,
Part 1
performance.
was kind of Ron's like movie, which is kind of sad because no one liked it. But part 1 of 7 is kind of
that's true.
His time to shine, and that's when he has all the problems with the Horcruxes and stuff.
That's true.
And people underestimate that, but that's where I fell in love with Ron. I would marry him right now.
Well, you've always liked the gingers.
I have.
So now let's. Oh wait. So now your second.
Yeah, my second is number 3 because I love it. I just love everything about it. I love Lupin. I love the Dementors and everything, and just like it kind of has that mix of whimsical and dark, which I like, because 4 and 5 were kind of just like all dark, and then 3 and 2 were both kind of like a mix of whimsical and dark, where it's not overwhelming because there's still the little bit of comic relief and funny and like the Bogarts and stuff. And I love Sirius Black. I love him as a character. I love how everything unfolds that way. We get to know Harry's parents a little bit better. We get to know so many things that make sense, and that's where we get to see Hogsmeade and like different things. And I don't know, I love that movie. I love it.
I love it too. It's my number 1 choice. is my number one favorite Harry Potter is the number 3. I think Alfonso Cuarón brought something different than any of the directors were able to do. It has an artistic feel to it. It has more of an earthiness, I think, that you don't quite see. And I think it's the one where you start to realize these characters are really vulnerable. And the Dementors are really scary. And they're not just like scary in the sense they're bad. They're scary in the sense that they could like beat Harry. Like you really feel like
really good.
Yeah, I mean they're and like it's
when you realize that Harry's not invincible. But,
no,
you know,
and
just
like
because he defeated Voldemort doesn't mean that he's invincible to other things.
Well, and you realize that like if the Dementors are this strong, can you only imagine if Voldemort, how strong he will be.
Because you never really see him full power till the last movie. And
the great thing about the Harry Potter movies is, the Harry Potter stories is it's really, you have this battle of good versus evil. And I think that nothing shows it as well as in the third one. You really get the sense of there's evil and there's good. And I think a lot of times we want to just sort of whitewash everything because we don't want to say that things are evil. We don't want to say that things are good. Yeah. But in reality, there's evil.
There's
in
evil
the world. And
I love the idea that we like sacrifice to protect others, and I just that whole thing. It's kind of like.
And also like, but then in the same breath, even though it's a great story about good versus evil, here we have this character of Sirius who we start out thinking is evil and it turns out is actually not.
And
so
you're just like, and some people you think are good end up being evil.
Yeah. So that's why it's my favorite. I think it's the most visually interesting. I think it probably takes the most risks. And it's actually the one that I missed. I saw when I came back from my mission. So I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. So I was pretty excited.
Oh, no wonder it's your favorite.
Yeah. So I missed the third. Pretty much everything from 2003 to 2005 I missed. So I've seen like The Incredibles, Return of the King, and the third Harry Potter movie. That's about it from those years. So what is your number 1?
6. I love it. Whenever I have all of the movies on my computer, obviously, and whenever I feel like watching Harry Potter, I always like I should probably watch the first one. I'm like 6, and I should probably watch the 6. I just go back to it over and over again because I love it. I love everything about it. I love everything. I love how the Horcruxes are more in depth and how he finally starts to get know that. I love how we get to know Voldemort a little bit better because we see him at the orphanage, and we get to see his past a little bit more, and we get to know his mother, and and I guess we get to know more of that in the book. But it's really cool to me how we just get more connected with all of the characters, and there's still a lot of fun because there's like the Slughorn and his I love Slughorn, and his Christmas party, and then you see like Ron and Hermione are having like issues, and you don't really know what's happening with that.
Well, and you've had since the very first one, you've had this mystery about Snape. And you learned so much in the 6th about Snape.
And your mind is like blown. It's just it's my favorite. I love it. I've watched that movie so much more than the other ones. It's ridiculous, and it's so great.
Yeah, it's a really
funny,
good movie.
But it's not too funny, and you learn about Malfoy, and you start to see that unravel, and then there's a lot, you get to know some of the Order members, and the Death Eaters more, and everyone, it just becomes another level of depthness and character. It
is amazing when you think about that she is able to create so many dynamic characters within one world. Like,
I love her. Like, she's released pictures and stuff of all the work she's done, and even on the first book she made family histories of Sirius Black and all of their families. She has generations that she doesn't even talk about. She doesn't just come up with these things. Like, she could make millions of books on different families within the same generations, and Half-Bloods and Mudbloods and everything.
Well, and like a lesser writer would have made just Malfoy all bad. 100% all bad.
But I love
or like
Malfoy.
There's just so many characters like that though that are these complex, dynamic, interesting characters that have this growth, and And
even Voldemort, you kind of feel sorry for at some point, because you feel like this wasn't really him. This was kind of his parents, and like.
I didn't know if I really felt sorry for him, but I felt like I understood him.
Yeah, no, I really did. You know, there's a new depth of meaning to why he's so evil, and at the orphanage, like.
It reminds me too of. I've always thought of Voldemort a lot, like Satan tempting Jesus, you know, and when he's fasting and, you know, tempting him with all these things, but you know, you do get to kind of understand kind of his perspective a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's just so twisted in he's, you know, sort of telling all these half truths.
And this is also the one you realize that he is not pure blood. He's a half-blood.
Yeah, that's true.
And that he is, like, he can never be a pure blood. And, you know, it's just so much...
Which is biblical, too. That's very biblical.
And there's so much depth in, like, how Satan wants to hurt everyone because he can't be, like, us. And, like, that's why he pushes everyone off, you know. And, I don't know, there's just so much depth, and she just knew what she was doing. And everything kind of comes together for me in that movie.
I think what's great about the Harry Potter movies, too, is that, and the books, is that they're ones that I just think almost anybody can find something that they like. You know, whether it's the interesting writing or the world building or the good acting or the, you know, there's just something for everyone. And, you know, so I say, like, if you don't like the Harry Potter movies, I just wonder if you like movies, because, like, if you don't like any of them, you know, like, I just think there's just so much there. And there's great music through the whole series. The music is wonderful, good special effects, and really nice messages actually throughout.
And it's cool, and, you know, it shows how much of the depth of character people have and how much we underestimate that. Even Ron, who has the emotional capacity of a teaspoon, according to Hermione, like, he has a lot of depth of character.
I mean, by the end, you feel so, like, excited for Neville.
So I love
Neville. And the fact that you
him.
could feel that way for just this minor character, essentially, is amazing.
It is amazing.
And so she's just incredible. She deserves every accolade that she's gotten. J.K. Rowling, and I think they're something. It's so nice when something becomes popular that really deserves to be so.
It's true. I don't know if popular is the right word. This isn't just popular. This is like
epic.
Has made history. It is epic. Everyone knows what Harry Potter is.
She's richer than the Queen, and she deserves
to be. Yeah.
So that is our list. I'll review them real quick. So my list is, I have number 1. I have 3, and then I have 7 part 2. I have number 1. That's and then I have 6, 5, 2, 4, and then 7 part 1.
And then my list, I had number 6 being number 1, 3, 2, 7 part 2, 1, 5, 4, and 7 part 1.
There you go.
That is it.
This will be the longest video I've ever edited. All right. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you later.